Night Watch Talk. What's up, guys? How you doing? Happy Tuesday night, Watch Talk evening. I am your host, Bobby Legs. So far, going solo. So far, man, I really gotta clean up, tidy up the face. I'm looking at myself on screen right here, and I'm like, oof, I'm looking pretty rough these days. I gotta get a haircut. Gotta get my beard trimmed. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day. Oh, looks like I will be joined by my man Dib. Dib, you're freshly shaven for this evening. Thanks, my friend.
Yeah, how's it going?
You sound very, very excited to be here.
Um, Honestly, I was just unprepared. Like you were commenting on my shave. I mean, it's not shaved anymore. Like I already developed a 5 o'clock shadow. So
So, I mean, okay, so did you shave this morning or
no,
last night? Like,
I
how
think
quickly
I
do you
shaved
develop the 5 o'clock shadow?
probably in a day.
Yeah,
But
nice.
yeah, I mean, I shaved like in the weekend.
Okay. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I just lost my trimmer. I just don't know where that is. So I gotta find it. Hopefully I will. Anyway, Dip, what do you got on wrist tonight, man?
I have the Grand Seiko. I don't know what it is, but it's a limited edition quartz piece with the blue ceramic bezel.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's SBGP 015, but I'm like, yeah, even like, I, I can't remember all of them.
Is that the one you got from Toppers
Yep.
recently? Okay, yeah, that's well, congratulations on that pickup. Very, very, very nice. Amin, how are you?
Good, good. I just realized what a bedhead I have. Good to see you guys.
Nah, you're looking good. You're looking good. No bad head. Good to see you too, buddy. Um, what's new? What's shaking?
Not too much.
Yeah,
Just hanging.
hanging in there. What do you got on wrist
You
tonight?
know, I just put this on. I didn't about like sometimes after work you ever just switch up for the
Of
evening?
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I switched up into the Parmigiani, but I
Ooh.
didn't actually set the time yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That happens to me too. Sometimes I just put on the watch and just get going and without even realizing that it hasn't been set or if it's running.
yeah.
Um, I'm wearing this evening something that I just picked up recently. And have you guys seen my video? I'm referring to the chat. If you guys have seen, I did an unboxing and it is a watch that I've been a big fan for a long time, and that is the Breitling Navitimer,
Nice.
the Cosmonaut, and it's got an 18K bezel, gold bezel, and I got to do a little bit more research on it. I feel like it's plated, but it may not be. I'm not sure. Anyway, I will admit the first time I ever saw this particular model, not this specific one, but a Cosmonaut was on Tristano, that's his name, the Urban Gentry, and he had picked one up, and I was like immediately smitten. I was already a Navitimer fan. I had no idea. I was relatively new to watch collecting, or anyway, my second watch collecting journey because I had one in the early 2000s, but I wasn't really familiar with the Cosmonaut at all. And man, I just loved that 24-hour dial, and I thought it was so cool. And so, with the encouragement of Dib, right? Because Dib is a big
Yeah, I was gonna
Navitimer
say
fan.
Dib had a role here, even though
Yeah,
you've long liked this watch.
yeah. But I mean, Dib, was kind of like, you know, um, on my shoulder a little bit. Not
Yeah.
necessarily not pushing me. But like if I had any questions or if I like wanted to talk something through, I would send them like, "What do you think of this one?" And he had some suggestions, right, Deb, um, and kind of helped me through it, you know, and
I just love the Navitimer. Like I had one for two
mhm,
years, and I sold it to Crown and Caliber
mhm,
this March. I honestly miss it. Like I would like a
yeah,
Navitimer back.
Yeah.
preferably a cosmonaut. The main issues with cosmonaut is finding one with a dial which has not been ruined due
Yeah.
to age,
Yeah.
like serviceability, like like has it been serviced, or like does it
Hmm.
need a complete service. There's not a lot out there,
Yeah.
and it's a Marmite watch, so either you love it or you hate it, or
Yeah.
like, there's no in between, like, because for many people, especially the older cosmonauts, they are very busy,
Hmm.
and it takes a little bit of time getting used to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely, like, it's Marmite, like, but I mean, I have to say, like, TGV was the first guy I saw reviewing it. Props to him,
Yeah.
sadly, but he did a half decent job.
I think
Like,
so.
his videos are decent. Like,
Yeah.
when he has everything written down in his little sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I would have to say that, the dial's very busy, and I like that about it. I do find it hard to read, especially the minutes. It's not so much the hours, it's the minutes
Mm.
that I am, adjusting to reading. The dial is in very, very good shape. The
Really
loom,
good. Yeah, that's
yeah,
great.
the loom is almost non-existent, right? It's just tritium, right? So like it's a 32-year-old watch, so like the tritium is pretty much gone. Um,
Yeah, if
it's
the loom is good, it's a very bad sign for that for that
right, right,
watch.
right. Exactly. That means like
Yeah,
it's been reloomed or whatever.
redialed,
Yeah,
reloomed. Yeah.
redialed. And so, I wound it. The last wound I gave was probably about 30 hours ago, and it's still going. It was no box, no papers, right? But it was through eBay, so there was some, their authentication process, which gave me some level of comfort. And I when I was reaching out and speaking to the seller, there was no recent service paper. He had nothing. I mean, this guy has a brick and mortar place, and a ton of good reviews. So I kind of, felt it was worth the risk. And so far, I'm very happy. There's a couple of there's like a little bit of a gouge on the case that wasn't really prevalent in the pictures, but I'm okay with it. I mean, it is a 32-year-old watch. Um, it's not like, that bad that I would send it back. I mean, probably a little bit of Cape Cod maybe would help, soften it up a little bit. But other than that, very, very pleased with it. Um, the chronograph works well, snaps back, and it's perfectly aligned. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy, I would have to say. And it goes to back to a conversation I was having with somebody a week and a half ago about having, like, backbone pieces in the collection. And so this is one that I've always wanted. I had the Zin 903, liked that watch very much, but it left the collection because I think what was happening was I was raising money to probably, I think, maybe to get the sub at the time. So, but now I have the sub, I have the Navitimer. I had to get rid of some watches. I let go of the Sea of Clouds. I let go of the Citizen. And so now I'm back really down to a very, very small collection, and hopefully, adding pieces that are very meaningful for me at a slow rate. And we could talk about that in a little bit because, I know some of us have watch anxiety sometimes, and collection anxiety, right? And so maybe we can talk that through. Anyway, let's let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll get on with it. So let me just catch up to all you guys. Bill K's here. How you doing, Bill? Hey, Joey B is here. What is up? Keith is here. How you doing, Keith? James Duffy is here. How you doing, sir? Chaz from the Berg. Let's go. That's right. Marcel is here. Hey, Marcel, wearing his UN diver this evening. Peter C is here as well. Joey is here. Joe Sylvia, sorry. Bruno, hey Bruno, what's going on? Uh, hey Caliber, what's going on? How you doing? BJ's here. How you doing? Kevin S, what is up? Mr. Time Hill is here. How you doing, Steve? KR Joy is here. How are ya? Watch Medicine, Bobby. Dib wears Prada. One of Dib's favorite movies. The Devil Wears Prada. We might get into that in a little bit. Junior Johnson is here. How you doing, Junior? Um, hey, Brendan's here. How are you? Wearing his Omega Seamaster 300. Very nice. Hey, Ep is here. How are you? Orange Hand. Thanks, Orange Hand. I appreciate it. Um, my first vintage watch. Yeah, once you go vintage, it's hard to stop. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know much about vintage, so there's definitely some risk involved, and I'll keep my fingers crossed, and hopefully everything works out with the watch. AZ Clayton is here. How you doing? Brigade's horrible. Don't buy one. uh, Hobby Bobby's here. How are you? Bruno, hey, no worries. You can plug it. Selling off most of my watches on Whatnot, October 3rd. 8:15 Eastern PM. Also, some coins. Search daily driver watches. Okay, Bruno. So um, hopefully you're consolidating to buy something else or whatnot. Bobby's saying Rob needs a bomber jacket and some aviator glasses. Sure, sure. Uh, hey, Waybin's here. How are you doing? I would, Caliber saying I would like a 903 Navitimer one day, and that's a great watch too. What what I like about one thing I like about the Navitimer over the Zen 903 is that the Zen 903 has that extra crown on top, right? And so that's how you move this bezel here. With the Navitimer, you can just, move the bezel back and forth. You don't need that other um, crown to do that. So it's one less crown on the case. Otherwise, 93 is a great watch. Great watch. Um, Bobby saying I'm wearing a Grand Seiko, a purple Iwate. Sanjay has affected my horological psyche. Um, Chaz saying those Commandants usually run 10 plus seconds a day. I'll be happy with that. I got to be honest with you. Uh, with Navatimers, I like the larger, the better. With my old eyes, yeah, this one's 42, and I got to tell you, it feels smaller than a 42, right? And maybe because the dial is so busy in the dial.
Well,
Um,
actually, if you measure the case from the bottom, it's
mhm.
closer to a 40. The
Right, right, right. The bezel lips out a
the
little bit.
bezel
Yeah.
is where, like most of the
Hmm.
width is,
Hmm.
and the lugs are not thick,
Right.
so that really goes. I mean, for me at least, I don't. I mean, that 41 millimeter case is probably the best Navitimer case ever.
Mm.
Like they have the new 43, the 46,
Hmm.
and the brand new 41. I don't like the new 41. Somehow, they shrunk it.
Yeah.
The 43 is good, but
Yeah.
46 is a little big for me.
Yeah.
But even then, the 46 millimeter case has, you'd expect 56, 58 millimeter lugs, but
Hmm.
it's like 52.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very variable, it's very flat. So,
Hmm. I remember about a year or two ago, I went to the Breitling. No, was it a Breitling? Yeah, the Breitling boutique in the World Trade Center, and maybe this was like over 2 years ago, actually, and I had it in my mind before I even before I even tried an Navitimer on that I liked it, right? And they came in different sizes, and that I would go with the smallest because I felt like a 43 or a 46 would be too big. So I went there and I tried out 41, and it was too small. And the 43 was actually a great size for me. I really enjoyed that size. And the 46 wasn't that bad either. It just didn't feel as big as it, right? But the 43 was a really sweet spot, was a surprise to me because if I wouldn't have tried it on, I would have probably ordered a 41 or bought a 41 online and been like, oh, this is too small and instantly regretted it. So I'm glad I was able to try that. This one, for some reason, um, it just works for me as well. So I measured 42 in the bezel. You're right, Dib. It lips over, so the case is probably not as is like around a 40, but for some reason it fits really, really well, and aesthetically, my eye, it's a nice size. So I don't have that same reaction as I did when I tried on the regular Navitimer, the 41 at the boutique. So
I
um,
mean, if somebody with a skinny wrist really disliked the 41 millimeter case, there's one Navitimer which is I think called the Navitimer 92
yeah.
that has a 38 millimeter
Hmm.
case. I mean,
Hmm.
with the older, like not old, but value movement. So
Right. Right.
there's always an option.
Yeah.
The good thing about any Navitimer is you just have so many on the market.
Hmm.
And therein lies the problem with the new ones. The new ones are priced close to 9,500, 10,000.
Hmm.
Even with a discount, you're looking at a sizable amount.
Yeah.
Whereas if you hunt around, Navitimers from like the 90s are as cheap as 2,500.
Right.
Now, it may not be in the best condition. You'll have to
Yeah.
spend money on service, but I mean, like that price disparity kind of hurts Breitling.
Hmm.
It isn't the same way as like older Speedies. Like Speedies from the 90s, they're exactly the same price as the 1861.
Hmm.
Like kind cheaper than the newer 3861s, but Navitimer hasn't caught on. Again, like I
Yeah.
don't think it ever will,
Hmm.
just because it's so busy and people, they
Is
are
it
the
because they have the newer manufactured movement? Is that why they feel like they could justify raising the price on it? Do you think that?
I think the B01 is one of the best chronograph movements below $20,000.
Hmm.
Very robust, um, and I won't say easily serviceable because it costs like 800-900 bucks a service, but I think it's pretty reliable. I
It's cheaper
haven't
than an
had
El Primero service, right? I mean, that's so.
Honestly, I mean, basic service I've seen with El Primero, it's like 900.
Mm,
Breitling's the same way.
mm,
So again, like it all depends, like whether something went wrong with your
mm,
watch or like they need to replace some parts. But I think pretty much like if I have a Breitling or a Zenith with a chronograph movement, which is not like which is in third party like a Valju, I am budgeting $1,000, like just out of the bat.
yeah,
So
yeah,
again, like I don't know the exact prices, but that would be my estimate, like
yeah.
$1,000 with shipping and everything.
Um, Steve's here. How you doing, Steve? Glad to see a vintage piece in the collection. Thank you. Mez9 is here. How are you, Mez9? James is saying vintage watches are a fun little rabbit hole. I don't think I'm going to go down that rabbit hole. I really am not that interested in vintage watches. I do like modern vintage watches, more modern watches with a vintage look, like a Black Bay 58. I enjoy that, like that vintage look, but with, more, modern movement and finishing and cases and et cetera, and all the bells and whistles. Um, I kind of made the exception for this one because, well, I mean, they started making the Cosmonaut again, right? But I mean, like, again, like the basic Navitimers that are out, the pricing on those are close to $10,000, if not more. Um, so I went back into the playbook a little bit, back to vintage, and to get the Cosmonaut, and I'm
Well,
very
your
happy.
cosmonaut is not a Valju. So
Right.
yours is of the
So Lamagna.
81 600 series.
Hmm.
So that is a Lemania 1873 E-Bausch. So essentially the same as the 861
Hmm.
ED movement. So if you have, and honestly, with the way I've seen, and again, like this is just my opinion, I've seen Breitling kind of screw up vintage movements.
Hmm.
I'd just send it to a very, like well-known watchmaker who can source parts and
Yep.
service it.
Yep.
Because why I say Lemania is like late 90s, they had a short run of cosmonauts too. They shifted to manually wound Valjus. So yours is very rare. You,
Hmm.
you don't see those every day, like with the Lemania movement. Like it's
Yeah.
a slower beat,
Yeah.
21.6
Yeah.
compared to 28.8.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can see the slow beat, especially so I'm not really learned when it comes to chronograph movements and whatnot, but even and I don't know if it's related to this. I suspect that it is, but even the chronograph seconds mark has that like it's not like as smooth as a higher beat one like my El Primero, right? You see like the individual ticks more, they're more pronounced, right? So I guess it's less beats. I guess that also affects the chronograph. I mean, you guys probably know better than I do, but I've noticed that, and it kind of adds to the charm of it to me. You know what I mean? So no problem with that. I like the slower beats. Usually means you don't have to service them as much um, as I understand it anyway. So I'll take it. I have plenty of high beat watches, so a slower chronograph is fine by me. Um, Kevin asks, you need to expect a 30-year-old watch to have some things in dents. Of course, of course. So you're saying watches get a Dremel with get a Dremel with a polishing wheel. The thing will be as smooth as a bar of soap. Yes, yes, chicken is gone. Pivot time, of course. Wearing the OP and PRX tonight. Ken Spear wearing both watches. Ms. Nine, yeah, Sea of Clouds was in and out, in and out. Um, Kevin S is wearing his Seiko SPB 149, fresh from the beach.
Nice.
Scott's here. What is the best online dealer to trade in at? So you guys have done some trading, right? Ahmed, do you have a preference? Does one stand out more than
Um,
others?
I feel like Crown and Caliber gives some of the best prices,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but they're very selective about which models they're looking for. So if
Yeah,
they're looking for the watch that you're trading in, then I would definitely give them a chance, and they make it very convenient too.
yeah, yeah. Deb, any thoughts?
I'd have to say the same
Yeah.
because I mean, I don't usually trade, I sell it off, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever prices I've seen Crown and Caliber offering me for trade value, they are much higher than
Mm-hmm.
any other dealer.
Yeah.
And yes, they are lower than what you can get from a private sale, but hassle-free
Mm-hmm.
process.
Mm-hmm.
Like like, and again, like that key thing where if they're looking for that watch, I know one, like one of my good friends, Chaz, he had a decent trade-in with Watchbox, whereas when I tried to like trade something, they offered me a super low bot,
Yeah.
so it did not work out.
Yeah.
I'd say shop around, like all the good dealers. D- Delric, you can give a pass.
I was gonna say like maybe the question it would be easier for answer like where not to go, right? Like and Delray, you know, being one that maybe a little rough, like with the pricing with what you get back for sure, right?
His sale prices are pretty good,
Yes.
sometimes very good. But
Hmm.
if you're trying to trade something in or trying to get like a cash value, oh boy, you're in for a rough ride.
Yeah.
That Porsche doesn't, no. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean you've had some some requests into to Delray too, right? I mean you
I've traded watches into Delray, and I got to say, they were very professional, made it easy. But they have some of the lowest sale prices around, so
hmm
you got to imagine that that the prices they're willing to pay are not going to be the best. You
yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah.
Again, like you cannot take offense to the fact that they give you a low ball. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you don't like the price,
yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
all I'll say.
Federico says it in his videos. He says, if you're selling a sub to me right now, I'm going to pay you, um, you know, under retail. That's
hmm
basically he's not taking chances on what he's spending, right? But then but they give some good deals.
Yeah. Luxury Bazaar is something you may want to give a shot to, Scott. I mean, I've had one. I good experience. Well, I mean, they both were good experiences. One particular watch I was happy for what I got, and one watch where like they were just not even. They'll just tell you flat out as well, like Care and Caliber will if they're not interested in a particular watch. So, but worth a shot. So I mean, definitely call around and see, and then you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out who. And a lot of it depends on the watch too that you're trying to trade in, right?
I
If you
got
have
some good offers from Radcliffe Jeweler in
Maryland,
Baltimore.
yeah.
Yeah, and I traded. I haven't traded or sold to them in a few years, but just because they didn't have the watches I wanted to buy.
Hmm.
But all my experiences with them, they had good offers,
Yeah.
and yeah.
So I'll give an example. European watch company, great place to buy from. Many good watches there. I was thinking of, well, I have sold my Grand Seiko Peacock um, to a private individual, but brand new watch, 3 weeks in. Apparently, the second hottest Grand Seiko this year, 500 pieces sold out. I got a quote from them, $5,000.
Mm.
The watch retails for 6,800. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
like the watch market is bad right now,
Hmm.
but I would say if you can find a dealer who you can work with to get the price up, I mean, do it.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, everything will be against you. So it's like figuring out which is the least offensive price to
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
go with. That's it.
Yeah. And don't take it personal, right? I
Yep.
mean,
Now,
yeah, that's the key. And look, money's it does that to people at times, and to me, like sometimes you just take it personal, but they have a business to run. It is what it is. Bruno saying, I think the Cosmonaut is a higher end than the Sea of Clouds. No clouds in space. Michael B's here. Hey, always thought the Chrono Icons collective would be sweet. A Primero, Speedy, Navitimer, Monaco, Daytona. Yeah, I love all those watches, Michael. I've had an El Primero. It was a 38 millimeter. It was too small. If it was a bigger one, maybe it would have stayed in the collection. But I like that idea. I think like down the road I will add a moon watch, a speedy. I like the IWC chronos. I'm getting a Zin at the end of the year, the EZM 13. I'm a chrono guy now. Yada yada yada. I'm a chrono guy now. Um, Kevin S is saying, I think you are fine with the Cosmonaut. It's a great vintage piece to start with. Congrats. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it just looks good on any kind of strap. Like like I love those collection videos of people when they have their watches like all laid out with the straps. Not on bracelet because the bracelet you kind of have to put on the side or it just doesn't sit nicely. But they're like set up some older pieces, some vintage pieces. I always like the way that looked, and that's kind of like also the vibe that I get with this one. So I know I'm talking a lot about the Cosmonaut. It's something that I got in, but I'm still on honeymooning here. Hey, Canadian Watch Monkey, what is up? Bruno asking, looking to consolidate my collection and to keep my best, trying to rethink my collection and find a special niche to concentrate on. So, Bruno, that this relays into an interesting, topic and conversation that we can have tonight. Consolidating collection, or having collection anxiety, or trying to find a direction in the collection, and that's something that I've always tried to do, even though I've been unsuccessful at it. Amin,
Yeah.
you know, um, we were talking, and you were kind of on the couch earlier today about some dilemmas that you have, and if we don't have to talk about it. I mean, if you're not comfortable talking about it, but
I don't mind. Um,
what's going on? Tell us what's going on with you.
so I got this Breguet recently, and
Yeah.
and it made me sort of want to do a little Breguet. I don't know, sub collection is probably too strong a word, but to get
Hmm.
another one. a particular tradition. And then it's, I spent a lot of money on watches this year.
Hmm.
I I bought a bunch of watches, most of which are much less expensive than
Hmm.
than that Breguet. So I'm like, think a lot of people get anxiety. A lot of my watch friends get anxiety when they have more than a certain number of watches, right? I probably have about 20 watches right now. Um, but Wolfie made a good point that when I'm thinking I'm having anxiety because I have too many watches, but it's really not that. It's anxiety because I want this other Breguet, right? It's like if you remove the wanting another watch, then the anxiety about having too many watches for me probably goes away.
Hmm.
Um, and then, but I'm really kind of um, going back and forth because the watches that I would probably sell, I'd probably sell 4 or 5 watches to get it. I like all those watches. They're all pretty recent to me. And it's probably just wanting the new thing,
Hmm.
right? But then it's
Hmm.
also a little bit like while I'm saying I want the new thing, there's a voice in my head like, you know, oh, these 4 or 5 watches, they're not as special as that one watch. And that one watch, like, it fills a need in my collection that, you know, needs, you know what I mean, needs to be filled, whereas those
Yeah.
other watches don't. And then it's like, and then the lies I start telling myself the lies. Like the lie that if I feel that need, like that's the one big glaring hole, and then, you know, it's it's done, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one big lie. The other big lie is that I'm telling myself like, oh, Breguet traditions, like there's a lot of people talking about Breguet traditions. Maybe it
They're
might
gonna
be
be
harder
gone.
to get one later.
Yeah.
Yeah, fear
Yeah.
of missing out, which is extremely unlikely, right? So anyway, those
You
are
are
thoughts.
you are an influencer, Almond, though.
No,
You know
no.
what I mean?
So Crown and Caliber, then same thing happened to me last time I was on your stream talking about a Breguet. Crown and Caliber did this coupon, right? 1,500 off on anything over 10 grand, right?
Yeah.
Um, so but anyway, I think I'm mostly settled. The one thing is I did ask Crown and Caliber today about trade-in value of a few watches. And if they give me like unusually great trade-in value, then I would consider it.
Hmm.
But for the most part, I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
These watches I'm talking about trading, like I haven't even really gotten a chance to really enjoy them that much. They're all bought this year. So um yeah. It's just I talked to you today, I talked to some other of our friends,
Yeah.
and it was very helpful. I feel like um I'm in a good place. I gotta, you know, enjoy the some nice watches that I've already got. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just a shame that we just don't have like unlimited um, money, funds.
Unlimited money. Yeah, unlimited
Yeah.
money would solve this for sure.
Right.
Yeah, even then you'd be asking like, what can I buy more? Like you'd be like, I can't say the name. You'd be like that man, like that collector from the West Coast, where like who has 17 doxers just because he can.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
you
a collector.
subscribe to more money, more problems then? Is that what you're saying, Deb?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, unlimited money, no. Yeah, no, it's just yeah. It's I think it's part of collecting, at least for me.
Yeah.
It's this kind of wanting the next thing, wanting the next thing.
Yeah, yeah, and I look, I think there's some of that in me too as well. I like, as I was explaining to you earlier and to a couple of our friends over the last couple of days, for me, when I get anxious is when I buy too much at in a very, very short time, and then I feel like I've made this investment for lack of a better word. It's not like an investment, like a stock investment, like prices are going to go up. But this investment with watches, and I'm not giving them their due. I'm not wearing, you know what I mean? Like I feel like, I've worn this for 2 weeks and I've already bought another watch. So it's like my compulsive personality has taken over, and then that's a whole different kind of like art, discussion. But if I just slowed down the pace, maybe do like one a year, which I know is laughable because I know I'm not incapable of doing that, that I could spend quality time with the new watch, and then move on and still have it in the collection, and then move on to the next watch, but and wear that for a while, right? And I talk a good game, right? I think we all do. It's actually, executing that plan is the hard part, right? Because like we're hanging out with each other, right? We're talking to each other on a daily basis. Somebody gets a new watch today, somebody gets a new watch tomorrow, and then like you get caught up in that. I mean, at least I do. And I want something nice and new, right? And instead of just looking at where I am right now, like where are my feet today? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Let's be happy in the moment. And
Can I call out Bobby Kumar for a second here with
yeah.
this comment? It's the one with the green check mark if you see it. Wilson, I
Uh,
have 5 more colors and my core collection is done. That's such BS. Um, uh, you have 5 more colors and then your core collection is done, but then you're going to start looking through your collection and going, maybe that's not the right purple one. Maybe there's a better purple one. When Bobby talks about I have the best red or I have the best blue, like he says it like it's an objective thing, right? But once he fills these colors slots, the cold hard truth is going to hit him that
yeah.
he's gonna wanna he's gonna change his mind about what the best thing
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Like his purple
absolutely.
watch, it's not even purple. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
that thing. The writing's on the wall already. It's
yeah.
gonna be changed.
Um, let's get caught back up with the chat, and then I want to hear Dib's collecting philosophy and if anything has changed recently. Kevin saying sizing. Agree with me about the sizing of the Navitimers, and Javi Bobby saying, yeah, you can go big with a new Navitimer for sure, especially the black. Bruno saying the Navitimer has the most useless complication with the slide rule bezel, but I love it. I love it too. Like I'll never use it for that. I have no idea. I have no idea what any of it is. 24 hour dial is fine. Like I said before, it's the minutes that because there's just so much going on. I'm like, wait, where's the minutes on this? But hopefully I'll get that one of these days. Um, and did find a sombrero. I mean, find a brigade with 4 sombreros price. So um, that's that's a good one. Hey, Pale Horse, how you doing? Good to see you. Scott's saying that the Brigade Tradition is a good price, so people are taking notice, Amin,
Yeah.
for sure. Um,
See, as I'm saying, it's all gonna be over soon.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone, what is your, okay? What is the percentage of you actually getting the Brigade
the the
Tradition?
the tradition, I would say 4%.
I'm gonna ask you again tomorrow what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a deep discounts from dealers, but also want high values on trade-in. It's hard to have both. Absolutely, Kevin. Yeah, we get that. We know what you mean. Um, hey, Jared's here. How you doing? Happy Tuesday. Wearing a Speedmaster on wrist. Tennessee Mike is here. How are you? Chronomaster Sport would be a great chrono pickup for sure. That's Chronomaster Sports are very, very nice.
Besides just about the dealer thing, besides the fact that some dealers pay better, some pay worse, some sell higher, some sell lower, there's also some dealers like they tell you what their price is, and others want you to negotiate, right?
Hmm.
Like some dealers list way higher than they'll sell it for, some list right where they'll sell it for. And I prefer the ones that are just tell you what it is
Yeah,
and not the ones that have a high price and there's some negotiation built in, like it kind of puts me off.
yeah. Marcel saying I struggle with the same thing. There's always just one more watch. That would be cool. Um, random. James Duffy's quoting Random Rob. You don't have to buy everything you liked. There will always be another watch. Um, let's see
Like I think we
here.
all know that.
Yeah.
It's just in the moment, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the one that fixes everything.
Yeah. Um, Tennessee Mike quoting Johnny Carson. We got people quoting people here. The only thing money gives you is the freedom of not worrying about money. Okay. Um, Wilson, thank you for the super chat. Talk Amin into watch couch and off the watch ledge fund. Okay. Thanks, Wilson. You're very, very generous. Hope to get you on the chat one day, in the stream one day. Be great. Keith saying crazy thing about Bobby considers pink and salmon to be the same color. That would change. All right. Steve saying I'm closer to the poor man's Navitimer. This is a Nighthawk. That's a great watch. I love the Nighthawk. So Dib, what is your strategy going forward? I mean, for the rest of the year. I know you said you're at times that you're not going to buy any watches for the rest of the year unless you see something that's at a good price and you can sell it and make a little money off of it, which is totally fine. But are you thinking anything else now that you've sold the Peacock and sold some other watches?
Well, I'll wait till the money comes in for the
Hmm.
Peacock, but
Yeah.
I want another chronograph. It's been a couple of months since I had one. We'll see what like. I actually went to the tag boutique in my city and saw the Carrera O2 with the higher O2 movement. That's a very nice chronograph, like ATR power reserve, in-house movement, column wheel, um, bunch of dial colors. So that's in the mix. If I can, I have my eyes on a Rising Sun Tokyo Limited Edition
Mm.
Speedmaster,
Yeah. Okay.
and obviously a Navitimer. Like if I can find, so with the Navitimer, it's not just any Navitimer. It has to be the right one
Hmm.
because I've had one, so I am more picky with what Navitimer I want to get. You know,
Yeah.
so that's where I'm thinking. Like I have another Grand Seiko to sell if I can move that.
Yeah.
Probably I'll get one chronograph. That's where I'm at. Hopefully, that works out. But
Well,
I never have any collection strategies.
no.
I like something I buy. As
Yeah.
simple as that. I
Yeah.
don't
No.
this
That's a strategy in itself. You know what I mean? I mean that's a great strategy. Um,
like I
what?
had my
Yeah.
fill of Grand Seiko.
Yeah.
Like this one, like I sold my um, Seiko Alpinist after like 2.5 years, which is a millennium for me.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so this one's here to stay.
Was that the longest watch in your collection?
Yeah, close to 3 years.
So what's the longest now? The sub?
Yeah, that's up.
Yeah.
It'll be 2 years next month.
Yeah. I just had the 1 year anniversary with the sub. It was nice. We had a
Nice.
nice day together. Um, which specific Navitimer? Uh,
If I can get a cosmonaut with
okay.
papers, that's what I want. If not, probably a 43 millimeter Navitimer with the B01.
Hmm.
Not the new one, because the new one, the tachymeter bezel is it's simplified. I don't like it, even though it has the AOPA logo.
Hmm.
The other thing which I dislike about the new one is the fact that the B counter on the chronograph hand, that's missing. Now it's like the new Navitimer has gone back to its original roots. The original Navitimer never had that counter B logo on it, the chronograph hand. So I really like that B. I need that B.
You like that B? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Andres saying, anyone like the Rado Diastar Original Anniversary Edition released last week? Let's pull that up there.
I think one of our friends was really into it.
This watch right here, right?
It looks cool. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. I'm not a big fan of that day and date wheel um, at the 6 o'clock position, right on top of each other. So it just looks a little odd for me, kind of like the symmetry of it just doesn't do it for me. Um, and just based on this picture now, I haven't seen it obviously in person, and I could absolutely change, but the the case and then the way it flows into the bracelet, it kind of like, the links are, or I don't know, it just doesn't appeal to me as much. What do you think, Amin? Do you like this watch?
I
That's
think
the old one, I guess.
it's cool, but I know it wouldn't last for me. Like
Yeah.
the thrill would be very brief. It's yeah. What time is this? 70s? This is 70s kind of design.
I guess so. It feels like, like Space Odyssey-ish to me.
Yeah. I had a Oris Chronoris, which almost felt like a little bit like this shape. And yeah, I liked it for a while, but I don't know. It just would be it's like a kind of cool that wouldn't last for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Same
So
with me.
that's not the anniversary edition. I think the anniversary edition was the one with the denim strap.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I got
But
the wrong one.
yeah, I mean it was there, but like just pointing it out. The other thing is, if somebody really wants to learn about Navitimers, buy this book. Let me see.
Ooh,
So
Nice.
it's okay. It's like $60, but it's a very nice book.
I'm
Like
getting it.
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, send me the link. I am definitely getting it. Um, Kevin S. Dib collection strategy: buy, sell, repeat.
Exactly.
Joey B. Three dolphins, flippers. Um, Hobby Bobby, liking your take. Wilson, I like the previous gen Navitimer better than the newest one. I agree with Dib. I still say I like the green dial, but it's too small for me. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, Andres. Yeah, Dib straighten it out for us. Thank you. Um, Darth helmet. Yeah. Uh,
Oh man,
yeah, the British. I'll bring it up again, Andres. Just
that
so
sucks. Oh, well. Sorry.
let me see. Let me see if I can bring it up. Um, is that this one right here in the
Yeah, the
middle?
one in the middle. That should be the 60th anniversary one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I gotta say, I like it a little bit better than the one on the right, for sure. Um, it's much more interesting to me. Still not a buyer, though, I don't think. And does it change your view on it any differently, or no?
That one looks even more more like my Oris Chronoris. Uh, but no.
Norris Dolores.
What do you think about
Mohawk.
Oris, Rob?
You know exactly what I think about Oris. I respect the brand. I respect them. Okay, it's just not for me. It's just not. It's just not for me, man.
Uh,
Okay. Hey, Chris from Washington. What up, guys? Enjoying a good cigar and rocking the Breitling Endurance. Pro love. Love this thing. Dib, can you please hold up that book again?
Let me see. I posted the link in the chat. Okay, there it is. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me give you.
I
A
think
solo
we
way
just
up.
like seeing you. Can you hold it to the side of your face? Like,
Mm,
no, like we want to see you and the book.
There we
okay.
Hold it
Yeah,
more
I
to
think
the
that's
right. Like you know how in those game shows they show the prize,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
still get to see the lady. That's what I want to see.
Andres, he also likes knives, by the way. Um, Steve saying time, Amin's going through the rebellious phase. He even says he doesn't like the red tips on second hands. He will come around.
Hmm.
Not at all.
Pro Amin.
But
Amin is
this
so
watch
effing
doesn't
boring.
bother you, right? I mean, it's like the entire second hand is red, so I don't think
Yeah,
that's
that's much better. That's much better.
okay.
Yeah, whole second hand is
Kevin asks, Bobby is the only YouTuber who is not on Oris payroll. Yeah, no, no. Look, I respect Oris, Mr. Oris. I respect you. It's just not for me. Uh,
Yeah, I've
Dib should be a book model.
no.
Thank you, Chris, for the sticker. Appreciate it. I really appreciate it, man. Um, Amos, was your Oris Chronoris the big eye full kit version with bracelet and black red rally strap? Wow, that's a really specific question,
I don't
Kyoto.
think so. It was a long time ago now, but I'll find it.
Dib, have you been working out?
No.
Oris greater than Baltic? Yes. Yes, it is greater than Baltic. I have way more respect. I have respect for Baltic too. I just don't have, see, I mean, like, Chaz is setting me up to go for another rant here. I just don't like the accolades that have been given to Baltic, because I don't think they're deserved of being touted as innovators or the next great designer. Um, Oris,
Honestly,
yeah,
I think so. I'm not a big fan of Oris because none of their designs really speak to me, and I've never been a big fan of Baltic either. But I will buy a Baltic over an Oris. They had that limited edition chronograph. That one I really liked.
I think Dib, I think well, I've bought a Baltic before, and I've never bought a Norris. So I think I agree with you. I think I would buy a Baltic over an Norris.
Again, I think the quality of an Oris is in another league compared to the
Respectful. Yep.
Baltic.
Yep.
But that
Respect.
Baltic chrono with the manual Celita movement, I think it had that little like old world charm to it.
Hmm.
Like I really liked it, and I don't usually buy micro brands. I avoid them if I can.
Yeah.
I'd rather buy a broken down Seiko, like with a bad movement. I just like I'm like that. But if it were me, I'd buy that chronograph.
You know who also has like old world charm? Meryl Streep.
Yes.
Okay. Amin, are you gonna rebuy that Endurance Pro?
I like it a lot, but I don't think I will. Yeah, it's yeah.
Baltic does make nice ladies watches. Dib, you only say that because you can flip Baltics better than you can flip Ori.
Well, I haven't bought a Baltic, so we'll have to see if that's true or not.
Marcelo's, I'm a fanboy of Oris, but it is totally okay not to like him. I like the Aquas, Chronoris, and two others. Marcel, again, no, I don't mean any disrespect. And I appreciate people who really like Oris. A lot of good friends of mine like Oris and have bought Orises before, or I. It's just it just doesn't they don't speak to me. That's all. That's all. They don't speak to me.
I was only laughing not at Oris, but just that says the same goes through
I totally do.
the same thing every time
The
when we
same
talk about Oris.
all the same caveats, right? Yeah. Okay. Um,
The
uh,
respect.
yeah.
It starts with a respect and it ends with not for me. What do you guys think of this new Speedy? The
I'll pull it up. Yeah.
the Mars timer.
Hmm.
Is it an orange or a red? The
I think it's a brown.
is it brown?
Yeah, brown and browner.
Some of the pics make it look a little bit orange.
Well, I mean, they're trying. So it's like, is it the Mars timer? Is that
Yeah,
did I read that right? Um, so I would assume that they're trying to get a color that,
like a red brown Mars
yeah, like
kind
a
of
red
color.
brown. Yeah, I like I like this watch.
Mm,
Well, the X33, the Skywalker. I I don't know if I would ever buy one, you know.
yeah,
But it is kind of like it is kind of cool.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, but I would never buy it. First
Yeah,
of all, it's huge, so
yeah.
it wouldn't work on me. But it's still titanium.
Hmm.
Somehow I mean, this is a 45 millimeter case with 48 millimeter lug to lug, so it's pretty
Yeah,
compact. I've seen the X33 in person. Again, it's cool, but I don't have like what's the point of that watch for me?
yeah. It looks great on a NATO there. Ooh, Marcus here. Gee, unless you need a to know the time on Mars, skip the X33 and buy a Breitling Aerospace for half the price. Fair enough,
Yeah.
Marcus.
So
Yeah, let's
I
bet on a
I know
NATO.
only one person personally who has the X33, and he's a salesman who works at Omega store. He picked it up for like 50% off after it sat for like 4 or 5 years. You
Yeah,
know, so yeah, they're pricey too. They're not cheap. I think there's like close to 6 grand
yeah, yeah.
for
I think it
a
was like 6,500 maybe.
thermocompensated quartz movement. That's really pricey. I mean,
Yeah,
Grand Seiko is pushing it with
yeah.
their 9F pieces. But again, like the different application, different watches,
Right,
and different interpretation of nature versus Mars. You know,
right.
Grand Seiko seasons can't touch Mars. There, so,
Um, got some other releases. Dib, you wouldn't touch this one, right?
what? No, no.
Let's talk
Just
about. Well,
horrible.
yeah, let's talk about like, okay, like I know,
16,000 euros
yeah,
of horrendousness.
yeah.
So I don't understand what the watch wants to accomplish. Like, why does it have the triangle on the top? Like, is it supposed to be a pilot's watch and an explorer's watch?
It changes. Those indices
They flip.
change. They flip through different styles, I think. Like I
No.
think that's the gimmick. Is that you know what I mean? Like there's a window and things can slide through and change, I believe.
Okay, but even
It
then,
was
no.
like Wheel of Fortune. They flip. They
I didn't read this article closely. I mean, that first picture was enough to stop me in my tracks, but it
this
says
one
the
says
title
change.
says the burn gyro dial changes face day by day. A complex system of revolving hour indices changes the look of the gyro dial at midnight. But every
Gee,
pick is ugly, so it changes from one ugly to another ugly.
yeah, yeah.
16,000 euros.
No thanks.
Yeesh.
Speaking of changing to, oh, okay, so we got Louis Aurard here. Man, like if it wasn't for like the Silverstein collaboration, like I would never even talk about Louis Aurard. I got to be honest with you.
I can some of their regulator watches. I'm like, it's kind of cool. Not just the Silverstein, but you know, some of the regular regulators. But yeah, these don't do anything for me. And the price is not too high, but the case back is real bad.
Mm,
I mean, I know that at this price point, like the case back is not going to be
yeah, yeah.
high horology decoration, but they mailed it in.
Um, let's see here what the chat
They've
is
been doing
saying.
stone dials for quite a while though. Like they have regulators stoned dials too.
Yeah, Caliber saying pass. What? I wouldn't pay 1,600, let alone 16,000.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Chaz not feeling well after seeing that. Feels like a Smurf died on that dial. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, says Chris from the watch line. For a second, I thought that was a 1K micro that was
That's what
about
it
to be
looks like.
reviewed. Okay.
$300 micro brand.
Changes the look to equally awful iterations. Yeah. Spinnaker
Yeah.
called.
Is it like a more expensive Long Island watch release? Sorry, Islander watches. My bad.
It's got
Something
poorly
like that.
designed Freddie C.
Hey, Freddie C is much better, Kevin.
No.
Compared to that, no.
Okay, so let's bring up this one last release here today. The whoa, that's not it. What happened when I clicked the link? The Bamford Snoopy Peanuts release. GMT. This very popular release. You know, these are fun watches, right? I mean,
Mhm.
we have a friend in the chat here who likes these Peanuts watches, right?
I bought the
Peanuts
one.
watches.
I bought the one which came out early in the year. Uh, it was fun, but my issue became I just could not read the watch. Like just glancing at it, like it's useless. I mean, like I can see the Snoopy, the character, but the hands not so much.
Yeah.
But it's a Celita SW330-2, very reliable. Like if you like Snoopy as a cartoon character, I think this is a good buy.
Mm-hmm.
Colorway was not bad,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, but
What's going on with the guy in the other pic beneath that?
that is a smelly dude.
What's happening with my man here?
Look at
Well,
that.
he's got a handkerchief around his throat, binoculars.
He's scouting.
He's scouting,
Okay.
mustache,
Very
tucked
smelly.
in orange shirt.
This is scouting by Hodinky.
Yeah, no pleats on the pants, on the khakis,
I think this
brownish
photo was
belt.
taken in Central Park instead of the actual wilderness.
Yeah, somebody married him, right? He's got maybe he's got a lot more going on than we think.
He seems to have
Hipsters love mustaches.
Yeah.
scouting by hipsters. Um, I don't get this watch at all. I mean, if I was really into Snoopy,
Yeah. I think there's two people who buy this watch. Somebody who's really into Snoopy and someone who's looking to hopefully make some money on a flip,
and
right?
then it's like the two arms are his arms, Snoopy's arms, right?
Yeah,
The
and
third
and
arm is that Woodstock?
that's Woodstock. I think he's the GMT, right?
Yep.
Oh, the GMT. He looks like that's such a weird thing to do to Woodstock.
It
Stick him
was,
on a pole and point him.
it was the
Hey,
same with the other watch too.
I mean, like, no Woodstock at all. I mean, Woodstock should be at least happy he's something here, right? I mean, you know, I don't see Woodstock having his own watch. Um, is there such thing as too much Snoopy?
I mean,
If you're really into Snoopy, I guess no.
Um, rather buy a Timex Snoopy collaboration, a Prowler,
I
a
wouldn't
Brooklyn
mind
Birdwatcher.
Omega Snoopy Speedy. You know, Omega, if you're listening, I can buy it.
Yeah, Chess thought that was Bruce Williams at first glance. Barat really let himself go. Dad bod model.
Well, if it's Bruce Williams, I mean, he must have had like 3 tubs of hair gel to, like kind of smooth his, hair out to that pattern.
Well, but I mean, like, but he's got a hat on.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking from the back.
Well, all right. Let's leave poor Bruce alone. Um, Happy hunting, Bruce. So, look, guys, you know, we're gonna call it a night. It's getting a little late here. I always do the same thing too. I'm such a wuss, man. I go to bed so early. Um, Dib, thank you so much for coming tonight, answering the call. Um, what is your time frame with this chrono? Do you think that's going to be something realistically in the next few weeks?
I don't know. It all
Yeah.
depends on whether I can sell the green Toge Grand Seiko.
Hmm.
If I can sell that, I'll think about it. Like I honestly want like one in, one out instead of just buying and hoping something
Mm,
will sell.
yeah, it's not going to work for you.
No, it's not. But um, like I want to get that Seiko, a Grand Seiko out.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Like I sent it off to Crown and Caliber. They didn't want it for some reason. Sent it back.
Hmm.
Um, well, it's coming back, so we'll see.
Nice.
They've been very selective, with what watches they are taking in, especially after they, like restarted taking watches in. Like they were not even accepting watches for the last three
Yeah.
months, I think, three,
Yep.
4 months.
That's right.
Did but did they say they would buy it and then they got it and said no?
So honestly, they say the watch might need a service
Okay.
because it's running low. I don't know what.
Okay.
Because when I send a watch in, I look at everything. Like, like if there are scratches on it, I take videos. I put it on the time grapher in all, like 5, 6 positions, depending on what it's rated at. And mine was running it was just 1 second above spec and it
Mm.
had a high amplitude. So I don't know if they did something. Who
Mm.
knows? I'll only,
Mm.
find out once I get it back. If worse comes to worse, I send it into Grand Seiko for service because it's still under warranty. So we'll see. It's still a good watch.
Yeah.
Like if I have to keep it, it's fine. I just won't have a chronograph then.
Speaking of one in, one out, Ahmed, that was your philosophy at one point in time, right? Collection.
Was it?
Like
I really don't remember that. This
You're
is
having
this
some
is
senior. You're having
I
some
like
senior moments, man.
I like. Can I share something?
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
this Omega I think is cooler
Hmm.
than that Rado for is this it says 2022, so this is a new model. I think it's pretty cool. Just doing some shopping on the
I've
side.
seen it in the boutique. I've never asked to try it on. So
Yeah.
Mr. Budget Neutral.
Yeah, I'll take my my lumps. I guess I did say something. I don't remember saying one in, one out. I do remember saying budget neutral.
You've also said one brand, one per
One watch per
brand.
brand. I've said,
Yeah.
yep.
You also said I'm not buying any more watches for the rest of the year.
You said your fair share of things, my friend.
I know.
I'm
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to slow down and see where the market will lead. Honestly,
Yeah.
like we are heading towards a recession. Probably we are in one. I just want to keep it light, not more
Hmm.
than six, at best 7 watches at a time. Expensive watches, not more than five at a time. That's what I want, and that's where I'm getting at. I'm almost there, but I just want to slow it down. Like again,
Hmm.
sub $1,000 purchases, I do that any day. I don't really count them
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, if I don't like it, it's easier to move it along.
Yeah.
Anything multiple $1,000 watch, I have been more selective. So I'm buying cheaper watches a lot. Kind of getting that fix. Whereas more the more expensive ones are few and far in between. So
One watch per brand rule violation allowed with as many brigades as you want. Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Chat. Thanks again for all the chatting. It definitely you guys definitely helped the show move along, and it's great. I really appreciate you guys. Dib, Amin, thanks again. Everyone, good night. See you on Friday. Take care.
Good night.
Yep. See you all.
Thanks.